voice echoed around the empty stone chamber as she screamed into Halbarad's face. "You left our friends to the blades of the Undying, left them alone and in the dark. I knew you were not to be trusted." "They knew the risks when they came here," Halbarad answered, his voice still calm and as smooth as honey. Quen lifted her bow and aimed it at the conjurer, who sat unmoving, his back against an old moss-covered wall. His eyes seemed to bore into her very soul. "Enough, both of you!" Gaurun stood between the two, causing Quen to slowly lower her bow. What happened in the courtyard was unforeseen. We are, however, close to our goal. Too close, and the forces of the Shadowdeep can feel it. But how can we trust each other if we leave our friends to the teeth of our foes? Quen had tears in her eyes as she spoke. Gaurun helped Halbarad to his feet. It was time they moved on from the small ruined hut where they had taken refuge. Time they moved onwards into the very heart of the convent, a place where the darkness seemed to pervade their very souls. Almost overwhelmed by undead fiends in the courtyard, his group had been lucky enough to get away, but sadly Zol, the mighty barbarian, and Kopet, who had nursed Gaurun since he was a babe found on the mountainside, had been left surrounded by skeletons and other darker creatures. Halbarad the apprentice could have done more, according to Quen, who had been the last to see them fall, as the apprentice had stood close and unmoving by them. "We know in which direction the decanter can be found. We know where the treasure that can bring back the dawn will be. Lives have been lost, and none feel it more than I. Now get up and leave your quarrels. We will not last long if we start to squabble." Gaurun spoke with an authority, and both Quen and Halbarad stood up, grabbed their packages and belongings, and left to move into the heart of the convent. As Halbarad passed Gaurun, the bringer of the dawn reached out and grabbed his arm. "I am watching you, my friend," he whispered before leaving him pass. The quest continues.